Joining us now here is former Pentagon official Michael Maloof, who's good enough to spend some time talking with us about this. Boy, this is fascinating. Think about this for a minute. So here you have Putin, who kind of chose Donald Trump over Hillary Clinton, and now you have the Trump administration essentially nailing Putin at every turn, getting rid of the INF, making friends with both, Ukraine, pushing NATO to come up on the border with Russia. I mean, hell, with friends like that, who needs enemies, right? Do you think, here's a direct question to you, Michael Maloof, do you think if indeed Putin picked Trump, he's now having buyer's remorse?
No. I think that he wants to work with Trump. There's still some hope. You got to keep in mind, there's a Trump foreign policy and a Trump administration foreign policy. Right. And that Trump administration foreign policy is run by the neocons, the neoconservatives.
But they're,
they're part of the problem.
No, they are the Trump administration right now. The Trump administration comes in the form of two people, right? Maybe three if you add Elliot Abrams, right? Right. Comes in the form of Pompeo, and it comes in the form of your friend John Bolton. They're making all these anti-Putin decisions, and they are essentially cold warriors.
Well, and they will continue to be. They were that way. They were supporting Clinton at one point. You'll keep in mind that during the campaign, many of those neoconservatives signed a letter against Trump and were supportive of Clinton because she was sounding tough against Putin.
So you're saying Putin would tell us, if he were here right now, that if Hillary had been the president, he would be getting the same kind of treatment he's getting now.
Maybe even worse. She was openly advocating.
How could it be worse, Michael?
Because during the campaign, she was actually advocating killing Russian soldiers in Syria. You don't do that. You had her former CIA director, who was an advisor to her, openly recommending that kill the Russians in Syria. I mean, she was. There's also a personal animosity. She doesn't like Putin.
But don't you at least find this, as I said in my lead to you, this is incredibly ironic that if you turn on, MSNBC or CNN or pick whatever your mainstream newscast is tonight, all you will hear is Putin and Donald Trump sitting on a tree, whatever it is.
The reason is that Trump very early on said he is willing to work with Putin on a number of things. But what happened was that he was basically co-opted by his neoconservative.
Yeah, but you see, you keep making excuses for him like he doesn't know what's going on. Last time I checked, it says President Trump. It doesn't say Trump, who answers to Pompeo and Bolton. So if Pompeo and Bolton are running the U.S. policy and they're essentially running roughshod over Putin, then the Trump administration is running roughshod over Putin.
That's correct.
So, it's undeniable. The question is, and here's where maybe I'll give you a little bit of room on this. Hillary called Putin Hitler, did she not?
Yes, she did.
I understand why somebody would get angry if you did that.
Yes.
Your argument is there's a possibility that she would have taken it further, and those same guys would have worked in her administration?
That is correct. They were supporting her until they were able to convince Trump to get tough against Putin. Also, the whole collusion concept against Trump brought them together to come under to be against him and to sound tough. And that's what they're trying to do today. You got to keep in mind, Bolton does not like any of these arms reduction agreements. He's actually helped create the tensions between the two countries, and this is what he was doing back in 2003 when he was the Undersecretary of State.
No, I got it. History is just kind of repeating itself. We're out of time. I wanted to ask you about Putin's comment about, look, I don't want to push back, but if you keep pushing, I'm going to push back at some point. And let's do that again.
He's still sounding conciliatory, though. He is still.
That was conciliatory?
Yes, it was. In my view, it was.
No, listen, he was only as aggressive as he possibly needed to be to answer aggressiveness that's coming his way. How diplomatic is that?
Beautiful.
Thank you, Mike Maloof. Good stuff. Great conversation. All right.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm Rick Sanchez. You found us on YouTube, and that's awesome. But you know what? I'm also live every night at 7 and 8 p.m. Eastern on DirecTV and Dish and cable and satellite, the RT app, and Pluto TV. I'll see you there.